Hey everyone, I just arrived in Seattle. It's my first visit here in 4 years, and I'm going to be spending the next 72 hours exploring music spots, mostly from the 90s, my teenage years, and I'm going to give you an idea of how easy it is to visit these places. Gasworks Park is located along Lake Union. One of the earliest official Alice in Chains photos was shot here. Back then, I believe it was not fenced off. Here it's double fenced, but they were sitting and standing near a cement block. There are two behind me, but it seems like they've been moved since then, which does make sense. And also Gasworks Park also appeared in singles. I believe Pearl Jam had a free concert scheduled here, but it was later moved. It can get pretty windy here, but you'll also get some of the best views of the city. This is no longer functioning, but take a look over here across Lake Union. You can see the Space Needle. Layne Staley's last address was this apartment building on 8th Avenue in the University District. You could see a University of Washington building in the background. He lived on the 5th floor, which appears to be the top one. Public sightings were rare during the last 5 years of his life, but he was spotted at the Blue Moon Tavern at least once in his final years. So this is about a 3-minute walk from the apartment building. And there's a mural going up the alleyway. And the entrance is on 45th. He lived on 8th, which is the next intersection. Easy Street Records has been located in West Seattle at this location since 1989. So this is the place. It's also a cafe. And I'm having one of the many music-themed food and drink items. So this is a mud honey. It's honey, I believe, in a mocha. So, and then there's milk foam on the top. Is that right? So, all the different menu items. I'm having the Gang of Four. Not a Seattle band, a Leeds England band. But anyway, these are tacos. But what I really want to mention about this place is when Alice in Chains released Dirt, September 29th, 1992, the record release party was here. There was a party going on, they opened at midnight, started selling, and I'm actually wearing a shirt that I bought at an Alice in Chains show at the Borgata in Atlantic City. I believe it was 2006. The Screwdriver in Belltown is Seattle's most iconic rock and roll bar. So the walls are lined with different posters, paintings, and right here we have Nirvana, Kurt Cobain. So this was a Nirvana practice space between 1988 and 1990. And like every great bar, there's a back room. So back here is the Belltown Yacht Club. And while Screwdriver is open to the public, the Belltown Yacht Club is a place where you have to have a ticket to check out a show, but it's really worth it if you're in town when there's something going on there. On October 22nd, 1990, a band called Mookie Blaylock played their first show at what was then the Off-Ramp. Named the Off-Ramp because there's an off-ramp right behind us. Nowadays, it's El Corazon. And then there's a little corner bar with a small stage, and that one's called Funhouse. The Moore Theater has been around since 1907. There's so much history here. To be exact, 116 years worth, but specifically Mad Season live at the Moore. I had it on VHS back in the day. They later released it on DVD. Also Pearl Jam shot the Even Flow video here, and before Dirt was even out, Alice in Chains did an in-concert, back then VHS, called Live Facelift, which was shot at the Moore Theater. And tours are available the second Saturday of the month. Unfortunately, you can't get in unless it's open for tours or an event. I'm at KEXP Studios in the Seattle Center. I'm in the lobby. And in 2017, when Chris Cornell died, hundreds of people descended on the lobby here where I am now. You can see his portrait right behind me. This is a big gathering place for the community, and it's very walkable to other attractions as well. After Kurt Cobain died in 1994, mourners gathered here for a memorial where Courtney Love read the suicide note. It was broadcast on national TV, and there have been other mournings here as well. When two members of Alice in Chains died in the 2000s, there were gatherings here. The Mopop started as the Experience Music Project. It was originally a Jimi Hendrix museum. It has since morphed into the Museum of Pop Culture, Mopop. The Pearl Jam exhibit just left. It was here for years. There's currently a Nirvana exhibit. I believe it just got back from Brazil, taking punk to the masses. On Fifth Avenue, outside the Mopop, there's a Chris Cornell statue. I believe it's life-size because it's a little more than 6 feet, and I know Chris was a little bit taller than me. I believe the guitar strings have been taken, but I like how if you look at the bottom right here, it is Chris Cornell in performance, and it has lyrics to a song that I've seen him play live multiple times, I Am the Highway. This unassuming building on the outskirts of Seattle is home to London Bridge Studios. So London Bridge Studios does tours at least 3 days a week, and it's pretty much a who's who of Seattle bands who've recorded here over the years. So this is the wall right here, owned by the studio, and pretty much the first 4 Alice in Chains recordings were all done here. Pearl Jam 10, probably the best seller to come through here. Jar of Flies, Dirt, that's acknowledging 4 million copies. I'm sure it's sold a lot more since then. And then you got other ones here like Soundgarden, Louder Than Love, which was their major label debut. Mother Love Bone, and probably one of my favorites right here, Temple of the Dog. And these are more band shots right here. Temple of the Dog. Shadow was Mike McCready's band before he joined Pearl Jam. And right here, here's some shots from inside the studio. The Yamaha C7 that you see behind me is the one that you hear on Black by Pearl Jam. And it's also the one that you hear on Chloe Dancer by Mother Love Bone. That's the song that's in the movie Singles. Now I'm in the vocal booth. So, you know, hundreds, maybe thousands of songs were recorded in here. But Man in the Box, the vocals for Man in the Box were recorded in here. And also Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog. Now, I thought maybe Chris and Eddie would have been in here at the same time, but I'm told that they would have recorded those separately.
Yeah, and then these go down. It's just your 2-track where everything is mixed together. So it's like kind of goes down this. Now in Pro Tools.
I'm standing in an alleyway between Bell and Battery Streets in Seattle's Belltown neighborhood. I'm in between 2nd and 3rd Avenues, and that sign that you see behind me, Black Dog Forge, is very important to Seattle music in the late 80s, early 90s. Although Black Dog Forge is not open to the public, this was a practice space for Pearl Jam, possibly Temple of the Dog. And so far, if you take a look around, we're surrounded by high-rise buildings. And so far, this short 2- or 3-story building remains intact as of 2023. The Palladian Hotel is in a building that dates back to 1909. So if you're a music fan, room number 207 is the Sub Pop Suite. There's a Sub Pop 20th anniversary poster on the wall, and this is some of the other art. But maybe the coolest thing in this room is the vinyl player. So this is a vinyl player. There's a vinyl collection here. And of course, what stands out the most is probably the most famous, successful album Sub Pop ever released, which is Bleach by Nirvana. The Edgewater is Seattle's most iconic hotel when it comes to music history. So it sort of started in the 1960s when the Beatles stayed here after no other Seattle hotels wanted to let them stay. So that later morphed into other bands like Led Zeppelin, and there's a wall of fame right behind me. Around the fireplace you could see framed photos of Led Zeppelin, Roy Orbison, the Beatles, the Righteous Brothers, and then perhaps the coolest thing of all is you could watch the sunset on Elliott Bay. Room 464 at the Edgewater is one of the hotel's 2 music-themed suites. So one is the Beatles, and this one is Pearl Jam. Okay, so right up here, we have a showbox set list framed on the wall, an espresso machine, which has nothing to do with Pearl Jam, but we have all of these concert flyers from different shows they've done, TV, fireplace, and then there's a balcony overlooking the Puget Sound, Elliott Bay. I believe that's Elliott Bay. So you got some books here. There are several Pearl Jam books. You could also play vinyl in here. Pearl Jam was always big releasing their albums on vinyl. You have the whole collection, 91 to 03 here. And you got a guitar here. There's an acoustic. So I suppose you could play Daughter on that one, and maybe Gonna See My Friend, or a heavier song. And you could do like these ladies are doing right here and look out at Elliott Bay. So then here, a little portion of the Mother Love Bone mural is painted above the bed. You got some old flyers. Remember, Mookie Blaylock opened for Alice in Chains when Facelift was new. A little view here. And then there's a bathtub with a backdrop of Pearl Jam fans checking out a concert. The suite is 450 square feet in total. Now, it could reach up to a couple $1,000s a night during the higher season, but you could snag deals as low $300 range. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe. I got more trips coming up soon. I got Buffalo, New York. It's going to be my first real trip there. For my birthday, I got Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm also working on my first Mexico trip in 15 years, New Mexico that is. I'm going to be heading to Taos, hopefully, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you soon.